Hey guys, and welcome to the high tech version of Mummy's Metal. I am so excited because yesterday I found out that Slipknot is touring this summer with Marilyn Manson, two of my favorite acts of all time. They are coming to Canada, and I've got to figure out a way to get there. I am going to get there somehow, some way. I will be there. Slipknot, I am slightly more excited for simply because of Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor is my music muse, god, whatever. He was my gateway drug into heavy metal because when I first started listening, I have a terrible ear. I can't understand accents. I couldn't understand growling for sure. Screaming even eluded me. I didn't have a clue what anybody was saying. The person who introduced me to heavy metal understood that Corey Taylor did have a voice that resonated just beautifully with me, and introduced me to Stone Sour. Stone Sour was the perfect fit for me. Corey Taylor's lyrics and the arrangements of the music, the songs, the feelings, the emotions, everything. It was perfect for exactly what I was feeling at the time. I believe that Corey and I have a very similar way of looking at the world. We express ourselves in very similar ways, although he is more eloquent about it. The very first Stone Sour song that I really identified with was Through Glass. It was a song about being on the outside looking in. Even though I have 5 children and a husband and parents that live around me, and I'm constantly surrounded by people who care about me, many times I still felt like I was on the outside looking in. I was wandering around the house. I was on autopilot, bit of a robot, just numb and going through the motions. And Through Glass reached out and grabbed me in that way. Red City was the next song that caught me. The haunting melody, the music, it captivated me. It pulled me in. My eyes would immediately close. I would be swept away, and the imagery was just, it was appealing to me. Orchids was my go-to song when I was really irritated. I do have inner rage issues. Of course, being the head of a household, I have to tamper that down a lot, but it's still there. And Orchids was the song that I could just turn it up loud. I could sing at the top of my lungs and just let a lot of that rage dissipate. Bother was the next song that really got to me. It put thoughts out there more eloquently than I could ever express. I didn't want anyone to bother with me. I was almost dead inside, or so I thought, so I didn't really think I was worth the time. People could be using their energy for, their own purposes. Everybody has their own struggles. Everybody goes through daily grinds. Everybody gets tired. I wasn't anything special, so I really didn't want anyone bothering. But at the same time, I was desperate for someone to bother. I think that's a feeling that a lot of people have. I think that's a feeling that a lot of people can identify with. And Corey was just able to put it into words, and the music fits perfectly. And once I realized that the song was reflecting how I was feeling, I was able to I was able to play it for those around me and really give them a sense of how I was feeling. That opened up a lot of doors to communication, and I will always be grateful for that. Zizix, or however you say it, Road, I could empathize with the weariness of the song. Throughout the whole song, you just get the impression he is just exhausted. He's exhausted with everything. He's exhausted with being an entertainer, a father, a husband. Everything is wearing him down. And I think a lot of mothers and a lot of people can just really identify with that. That is a song that is special to a friend of mine and will always hold a special place in my heart. Dying perfectly mimicked the confusion I was feeling within the relationships that I was in at the time. I hadn't realized that the stagnation and the routine of everyday life was killing my relationships. And once I realized that I was allowing my relationships to die, I then had the power to change that. It wasn't until I was able to recognize that's what was happening. That had to happen before I could even begin to try repairing relationships. A lot of people, I believe, can identify with that one as well. If you've known someone or been with someone for an incredibly long time, things get stale. You think you're bored, but in reality, you've just stopped talking to each other. You get 5 minutes to yourself, and you're so greedy for alone time that being with your partner isn't really a high priority. Once your duties for the day are done, you just want to go off and be by yourself. You want to be able to, pursue the hobbies that you want, read a book that you want, listen to the music that you want. Dying kind of reminds us that if we don't take care of our relationships, they will die. And if the relationship is worth saving, then you should put all of your energy into it. Anyway, that's what I got from the song. These are all my personal interpretations of the songs. I know that a lot of them were written based on either short stories or personal experiences that Corey went through in his own life, and that's fine. But when I hear a song, I always apply it to my own life. How does this describe me? How does this apply to what I'm feeling right now or what someone in my life is going through right now? I know these songs aren't written specifically for me. Of course not. These people don't know me. I'm just a blip on the earth. But because the human experience is so varied and so many of us go through a lot of the same emotions, a lot of the same experiences, there are definitely people out there that you can connect with. And when an entertainer is somebody that you feel that connection with, then you're really lucky because you have access to their thoughts, you have access to interviews, their music. It's endless. Hearing my experiences and my deeply, deeply inner feelings being expressed by somebody else gave me a sense of comfort. That's what dying did. I wasn't alone, not by a long shot. For Corey to be able to, as I said, so eloquently put into words something that resonated so personally with me, it only can give you a sense of others are going through this. You're not alone. Others have come out on the other side, and the journey's worth it. I mean, fight through whatever you're going through. Songs like Hesitate, Miracles, Taciturn, Pieces, Imperfect, those are deeply important songs to me for very personal reasons. They help me express my feelings and my emotions in a way other songs just couldn't do it. Those songs seem to be very specifically written, and they will forever be in my favorites. The song Tired helped me realize that I didn't feel safe being me. I had roles to fill, and my own being, if you will, wasn't important. It can be a struggle to be a parent, a spouse, a partner, and try to remember who you are. You get so lost in the day-to-day duties of your specific roles that you can very easily get lost in the shuffle. Meshing the two was something that I had not conquered. I'm still struggling with it, but it's getting better. I'm finding out every day a little bit more about myself. I can be mommy, I can be wife, I can be friend, and I can be me. And you would think that's a simple lesson to learn, but it's not. It's taken me 44 years to figure that out. And I'm still working on it every day. I think I'll be working on it for the rest of my life. Now that I found something that I am so passionate about and something that I love so much, the journey, at least I'm looking forward to it now. I'm having fun with it, and it's revitalized me, to be honest, because even though you guys have probably been listening to a lot of the bands that I'm currently listening to for a very long time, these bands are all new to me. Because of that fact, long-standing bands have a multitude of albums. And I am just in my glory right now going through each and every one. I am currently getting multiple discographies of the bands that I have been listening to because I realized I only had one album from each of these bands. Now I'm going and I'm getting the entire discography and weeding through, and some of it I'll like and some of it I won't. The conflagration. It was like Corey was speaking directly to me. I was in the daily grind of wake up, take care of others, do my domestic duties, go to sleep, repeat. I had no tomorrows to look forward to, really. Didn't make any plans. Every day was just same as the last, maybe different conflicts, maybe different boo-boos to kiss, maybe, different meals to cook. That was about it. Other than that, it was the exact same routine every day. When I heard that song, it made me realize that I was turning into a robot. And I didn't want my road to lead to the road of sorrows. It was up to me to get off my ass and find something that made me happy. Just put myself out there and discover what do I like and who am I and how can I touch other people's lives. It's important to me to be a good friend. It's important to me to be there for people, and I always try to be. The other Stone Sour songs were perfect for pumping up my mood or telling a story or just having some background music that I was familiar with and that was just becoming part of my soul. Every Stone Sour song that I've ever heard, I love. And it's funny because my introduction to Corey was from my daughter years and years ago. She played psychosocial for me, and I thought, wow, this young man can really sing. I love his cleans. If only he wasn't doing all that silly growling that I can't understand. Now, of course, I can't believe I couldn't understand him. I've adapted my ear to him. It's been a struggle, but I've learned to adapt my ear to quite a number of bands now so that when I listen to a song, I actually know what the words are, and eventually I end up finding myself singing along to them. To me, that's the mark of a good song. If you just play it over and over and over again until it's ingrained in you and part of you, that's one of your songs for life. Stone Sour is my band for life. They may not be heavy metal. I've heard a lot of people classify them more as hard rock than heavy metal. But since this is my introduction video, I thought it was only fair to start with my introduction to heavy metal, because from Stone Sour, I was able to go to Slipknot and Disturbed and other bands that had more cleans than growls, which was important at the time, because if I couldn't identify with the words, if I couldn't understand the words, then I really wouldn't pay attention to the band. And introducing me to these metal bands that, as I said, had more cleans and were more melodic was definitely the right way to go with me. Because of that introduction, of course, I have segued into all different areas of metal. There are so many subgenres. I am having a blast exploring each and every one of them. Right now, the friend who introduced me to metal has moved away and is busy, new jobs and all that stuff. So I really haven't had anyone to rely on to introduce me to new music. I've been going to Banger TV a lot. You can find the link for that one below. They are giving me lessons, if you will, on the core bands that start at particular genres. These are bands that I'm not familiar with. These are bands that have been around forever, but I've never heard of them. So it's giving me the opportunity to look these bands up, listen to their music, find out what appeals to me. I'm, like I said, having a blast doing it. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. I actually have to go and get supper ready. So if you like this video, please hit the button below, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you're a new band who are trying to get your sound out there and you think you might fit in, then just send me a message, hit me up, and I'll take a listen. And if I like you, I will definitely be tweeting about you. And in the future, I may be talking about you. But for now, I gotta go. See you later.